Have you ever wondered how to throw a jerkbait for bass, especially in the cold water months? Well, stay tuned. We're going to show you just how to do that in this video.
Big one. Big one. On the jerkbait. My biggest palomino ever. Big one. Big one.
Look at that fat little chunk there, guys. Well guys, Bassin' It Up Moffat here, coming at you with a new video, and in this video we are going to be talking about jerkbait fishing. If you're familiar with the channel, you have noticed lately we have been catching some decent fish on the jerkbait, as far as trout fishing, as far as smallmouth fishing, largemouth fishing. We've been catching a little bit of everything on the jerkbait lately, and as we get from the fall into the winter, jerkbait becomes one of the best baits that you can throw in the winter and in the cold water months, and we're going to show you just how to throw one and retrieve one in the fall and in the winter months, in the cold water season, and what rod and reel setup to throw them on, and also some color combinations that I like to throw at the local lakes around here. Also, some of these can be color dependent on the lake and where you are fishing, depending on how clear the water is and all of that. So with all that being said, if you haven't seen any of the other videos yet, you want to go check them out. We did an amazing smallmouth fishing video on the river, 2 of them, where we caught a bunch on the jerkbait, and also a trout fishing video where I landed my new PB golden rainbow trout, and it was insane on the jerkbait. But here we go, guys. First off, going to tell you a little bit about a few different ways that you want to hit these fish. It all depends on if you're seeing fish shallow or deep, and where you are fishing, which ones you want to throw. So I have a few shallow options like the 6 cents provoke and the copper red baits Jonah 117. Now this is also a sinking jerk bait, so you can use this shallow and out deep. Just let it count down and sink to where you need it to. This is a great scope option if you have live scope. Same thing with this as well, but this is a suspending jerkbait. This time of the year you really want a suspending jerkbait, or a jerkbait that at least sinks very slowly, because that is typically what fish are going to be doing a little bit. They're going to be slow and they're not going to be moving a lot, so you don't want one that rises a whole lot, and you don't want one that sinks real fast. So one that just either slowly sinks or suspends. Suspending is my personal preference, and depending on if you're out deep, I have the Megabass Vision 110 +1 and +2 here in 2 different colors. Now, rod and reel setup that I like to throw these on, doesn't matter shallow or deep, I throw them both on the same setup. This is a medium heavy fast action with a fast tip Enigma Phenom series rod, and I like to throw that with a Shimano Corrado 6:3:1 gear ratio reel. Especially this time of the year when it's colder and the water's getting cold, I really like to slow up my retrieve, so that 6:3:1 helps me slow down a little bit more. And retrieve styles that you want to do all depends on the day and what the water temperature is. Once water gets below the 50s, you're going to want to really do a extremely slow retrieve on the jerkbait, much slower than we were doing on the river. Now on the river, you're fishing for smallmouth typically, so they can typically like a little bit faster of a retrieve than largemouth do. Largemouth fishing, you want to fish them extremely slow, anywhere from a 7 to 10 second pause in between your jerks, and I like to do my jerks in a little bit of a cadence. I like to do 1, 2, and then that pause, and then 1, 2, 3, and then that pause again, and then 1, 2, and then a pause, and then 1, 2, 3. And doing that the whole way in typically ends up getting me bites on the jerkbait. Now, like I said, as it gets colder and as the water drops below 50, the slower you want to go with your retrieves. So like I said, anywhere from 6 to 10 seconds typically is what I'm doing most of the winter. And fall, it can be a little bit faster if you're getting closer to the summer. Sometimes I'm just constantly retrieving if we're closer to summer, and once we're getting closer to winter, that pause gets a lot longer. But I'm also throwing this on 12-pound Seagar Invisex fishing line. fluorocarbon, and I typically like to throw this on fluorocarbon because there's not much stretch and it's virtually invisible to the fish. So that nice light tip with the rod on this between that line gives it the perfect amount of give that I need for a perfect hook set, and you typically aren't missing too many fish. But like anything in any kind of reaction style bait, you have fish that swipe at them, especially on days where they're not typically feeding and you're getting more of a reaction out of them with it, which is a lot of your winter fishing. Sometimes they'll swipe at it and just get hung up and you can lose them, but that's usually just because they aren't really eating it and they're just swiping at it to kill it. That pretty much covers some great jerkbait fishing tips and how to fish them in the winter and all throughout the fall. And hopefully you guys can go out there and catch some big fish on the jerkbait this winter and fall. And if you do, please make sure you let me know, and you can post them in the comments. Also, if you have any other questions, let me know in the comments as well. I'm going to link all these baits in the description, as well as a few of the videos that we did earlier this year fishing the jerkbait so far. But make sure you get entered into my giveaway. As soon as we hit 2,500 subscribers, we're going to be doing a giveaway for a fishing trip with me. So to be entered into that, you got to be subscribed to the channel. You can comment for another entry. You got to like this video, and you can share it on your social media page for another entry as well, but tag me in it so I can see it. I have all forms of social media as well. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Tight lines. We'll see y'all next Thursday.
There's one. There's one. That's probably a 5. That's a big one. Look, look. Oh my god. That's a muskie. We got a double. There's a good one.
That's a better one.
I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it.